What is up, guys? This is Gaming with Pooh here, and I am reacting to Dead Meat, Silent Night, Deadly Night, Part 5, Kill Count, The Toy Maker. So, let's go.
Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at Silent Night, Deadly Night 5, The Toy Maker, released direct-to-video in 1991. Once again, we've got a sequel in this series that has nothing to do with any of the movies that came before it. But hey, unlike Part 4, at least this one actually involves Christmas. Brian Yuzna, who directed Part 4, returned to co-write and produce The Toy Maker. But in the director's chair this time was Martin Kitrosser, who had previously written the screenplays for Friday the 13th Parts 3 and 5, and who would eventually settle into a career as Quentin Tarantino's go-to script supervisor, which I found interesting. Finally, Screaming Mad George came back to do this movie's special effects, which included more of his weird bug shit, and also a whole host of killer toys that seemed straight out of a Full Moon flick. Now, if you thought Part 4 Initiation was weird, well, you're totally right. But The Toy Maker is bonkers too. Not only is the ending one of the most bizarre things I've ever put on this channel, but we've also got screen legend Mickey Rooney running around as a possibly evil toy maker. And that's actually extra funny, because Mickey Rooney had written an angry letter to the filmmakers behind the original Silent Night, Deadly Night, back when everyone was still all pissed about that movie. Oh, and to top off this movie's mountain of questionable decisions, while the story is unrelated to anything from the first 4 movies, a few of the actors from Part 4 return to play characters who may or may not be the same people from that movie. It's pretty fucking weird, man, but so is this entire damn franchise. Let's get to the kills. The movie begins at an unassuming house on Christmas Eve, where little Derek Quinn hears the doorbell ring and comes downstairs to see if it's Santa. His parents couldn't come to the door because they were a little preoccupied. Derek finds a present on the porch that's addressed to him for the next day, but instead of listening to the tag, he takes it inside and opens it up immediately. His premature present unwrapping gets stopped when his hairy dad comes out of nowhere to yell at him.
God damn it, Derek, how many times do I have to tell you not to open the front door by yourself?
Wait, dude, were you wearing that gold chain during the Christmas sex you were having just a minute ago? Derek watches from the staircase as his dad investigates the present box, which all of a sudden starts to rumble like a bumbleball. Turns out that inside is a Pokeball? Well, I guess it looks more like a Cherish Ball, to be honest, but it actually ends up being a Santa Claus toy that Derek's dad Tom finds awfully amusing. The Santa Ball gets pissed and gains an electric grill out of nowhere before sprouting some hands and feet and wrapping them around Tom's face. Oh no, Tom is choking on Santa's ball. Derek watches as his dad runs into the stockings with care and flails around in slow motion until the ball finally gets the best of him and causes him to fall right onto a fire poker that had fallen to the floor. And even though it was a first-person type thing, we still get to see the aftermath of Tom's impaled head. Thanks, Screaming Mad George. After Derek's mom, Sarah, comes downstairs and finds the nasty scene, we get ourselves a title card. And geez, it's got like 3 or 4 different poorly implemented motion graphics. Hell yeah, iMovie. 2 weeks later, Sarah and Derek are still reeling from Tom's death, with Derek so upset he hasn't even touched his food. There, now he's touched it. Happy? Sarah gets a visit from her friend, Kim, played by Neith Hunter, and Kim brought along a kid named Lonnie, played by Brian Yuzna's son, Conan Yuzna. So I guess they're the same characters from Initiation, right? What are you doing? I'm not sure yet, Lonnie, but let's see where this thing goes. Derek sees a commercial for his dad's murder weapon on the TV, which, you know, is pretty upsetting to see. And when Sarah goes to come for him by their window, we see that a young dude in a truck is spying in on her. Dude's all like, I don't care if she got a kid, Sarah Quinn be fine. To try to cheer Derek up, Sarah takes him to Pedo's Toys, which is run by Mr. Pedo, Joe. And don't get the wrong idea, okay? This isn't like a pedophile thing, although you'd be forgiven if you made that mistake. No, the play on words here is that the dude's name is Joe Pedo, like Geppetto. Joe is, of course, played by Mickey Rooney, my favorite drunken lighthouse operator, and he's got a real weird son named Pino. You know, like Pinocchio. Pino is so off-kilter that Joe doesn't even want him around. Get back in the office and down into your floor hatch, Pino. While Mickey Rooney gives the best performance of the franchise, trying to make Derek feel better, that Widow Stalker dude walks into the store and watches from behind a shelf as Pino returns and tries to give Derek a real gross-looking bug toy.
What are you doing with that?
It's for the boy, Father. I want you to have this. My father made it.
Oh, no thanks. We're good on the bug shit. Sarah and Derek
For real.
leave, and Joe immediately turns on the rage machine, yelling at
initiation.
Pino for being a shitty son.
I'd rather have a son like that.
Pretty fucking awkward with that one dude still in the store. Yeah, maybe check all the aisles before your next domestic dispute, Joe. The mystery man buys a bunch of toys, among them that Larry the Larva bug that Pino tried to push on the Quinns. He also inadvertently drops a newspaper clipping from his pocket when he gets his wallet out to pay. After he leaves, Joe finds the clipping and sees that it's about Tom Quinn's. This is why you gotta keep your clippings in a scrapbook, stranger. Our center-parted stranger apparently has had a problem paying rent, so to buy himself some time, he gives his landlord Harold that Larry the Larva toy that he accidentally bought from Joe's.
This better be good.
Yeah, it's to die for.
That's such a weird line to me, because spoiler, this character isn't evil or in on the killer toys thing, but that line makes you think he is. Like, sure, you could call it intentional misleading, but I call it sloppy fucking writing, dog. While the landlord is driving home, having a kick-ass scat session with himself, Larry the Larva guy breaks out of his box and slithers up to the front seat for a little bit of playtime. Dude probably shouldn't be fucking with that worm while he drives, but how can he help it? He's getting a real damn kick out of this toy.
Look at that thing.
Yeah, I'm looking. It's a fucking bug, dude. The bug develops some electric pincers and leaps right into the landlord's mouth, so he sits there sucking on it while his car goes all crazy. Eventually, the bug chokes him to death, I guess.
Again,
but the
pretty
awesome
gay
part is when the
and
dude's
kinda
fucking
funny.
gets sucked into his head. What the fuck? Oh, yeah, screaming Mad George. You nasty, son. You nasty. And you know what? Fuck it. Let's punctuate the kill by having the car flip off the road and explode. Yeah, Silent Night, Deadly Night 5, motherfucker! The stranger goes back to Pedo's and breaks into the place, where he heads to the office and finds a picture of Joe from back when Mickey Rooney didn't need to do movies like this for cash. But despite the photo being a couple decades old, Pino looks exactly the same. I guess Pino just aged like fine wine. The next day, Sarah and Derek head to a Studio City mini mall, where the stranger works as a mall Santa alongside, wait, Clint Howard?
Ho, ho, ho.
What are you even doing here, man?
Hey, Ricky, you seen the boss? I gotta ask him about my check.
Oh my god, and his name is Ricky again? But we watched the Ricky from Initiation die at the end of that movie. So, like, come on, this can't be the same character, right? I mean,
Oh,
this
but
Ricky
it
looks
is.
like he knows how to interact
show
with
y'all
people in the
that.
shower. But whatever,
I'ma
man,
show
this
you
is the
guys
only
that
scene he's in, so
after
I
this
guess it's not
video.
important. The stranger is sitting in the hot seat when it's Derek.
You know what? Look, I'm gonna try to get 2 videos out a day. So, yeah.
Derek's turn to revel in holiday greed, but the boy refuses to say anything, and when Sarah goes to take him home, the stranger gets all weird.
No, don't go.
Yo, fuck off, dude. That's my kid. Blast!
Yeah.
I almost had another child slave to work the toy factory. While the Quinns have been out on their little mini-mall adventure, Pino has used an old key hidden under a block to break into their house. He goes through their stuff and fondles Sarah's wedding picture, and during this snooping, we see that the Santa toy that killed Derek's dad is still on his shelf. Pino's still in there,
Wow.
looking at Sarah's cocaine beer, when she and Derek get home, and after scaring them from the closet, he runs out like a little weirdo. Polo! She goes to Pedo's and yells
Pino.
at Joe, who tells her he and Pino used to live at her house and had to move into the toy store when they couldn't afford the mortgage anymore. Sarah's like, yo, that's sad and all, but keep your weirdo son away from my weirdo son. Joe turns back
Wow.
into scary Mickey Rooney, and later on that night, he yells at Pino and slaps him in the face. Jesus, Joe. Then we get a bunch of real weird faces and real weird line deliveries.
You bastard!
I'm sorry, Father.
Before Joe smashes a booze bottle over Pino's head and sends him tumbling backwards down the cellar stairs. That snaps Joe out of his patriarchal rage and sends him scrambling to his knocked out son's side. Sarah gives Derek a present to open, but it's another goddamn porch present. So Derek is all like, thanks but no thanks. She goes downstairs to let Kim in, and during their conversation, I'm pretty sure she confirms that she's the same character from
Wow.
Initiation.
I mean, you would not believe the things that I've been through. Hardly believe them myself.
Well, all I know is that I can't go on this way.
Wow, Sarah.
Yeah, and I had to do the same. I had to replay the same video like 15 times already.
Sarah, maybe if you did more listening and less waiting to speak, you could have heard a cool story about witches and bugs and shit. Derek sneaks out during the women's one-sided conversation and turns that porch present into a garbage gift. But Lonnie's outside, standing on a tree or something, and he's not above going trash picking for presents. He
Ew.
opens it to find some wicked inline skates, confirming this is the 90s, then pops those babies
Yeah.
on and takes them for a spin as his mom leaves Sarah's house. Eventually, the roller skates light up like fireworks and send him soaring up a driveway. The rocket skates take
I
him up
see
and down
why
the drive,
Derek
totally out of
didn't
control,
accept
until he
that.
spins right into the street and holy shit, that kid just got hit by a car. Oh fuck, man. Don't worry, he's not dead. While Sarah visits Lonnie at the hospital, Derek answers his front door to find the stranger, acting all kinds of weird and trying to give the poor kid more unmarked presents.
Very special boy for a very special boy.
Oh my god. What's wrong, Derek? You don't want to be this guy's very special boy? Derek's babysitter Meredith comes to the rescue and locks the stranger out. Although she does tell the dude where Sarah works, which, like, next time show a little more discretion there, Mare Bear.
Wow.
And so after Sarah leaves work that night, she runs into the stranger in the parking garage. He calls for her by name and when him, she starts running away. But guess what? Turns out that makes no fucking sense. Because when he catches up to her, they just start making out. For like, yeah, a good minute there, too.
Wow.
Why did you run from me?
I don't know.
I guess I just needed to pad this thing.
You don't have a
Feel more
reason
like a
that you
horror
ran
movie.
from
Turns
him?
out these two were actually a couple 6 years ago, and apparently the stranger, named Noah, is also Derek's real dad. Sarah had left Noah without telling him she was pregnant because she didn't think he was ready to settle down. But also...
And I needed security for that, and you couldn't give it to me, and Tom could.
But, you did tell Tom that Derek wasn't his kid, right, Sarah? Right, Sarah? Let's just hope so. Noah says that now he's more mature and ready to be a daddy. And a daddy. And by the looks of that makeout sesh, I think Sarah's into the idea, too. Speaking of makeout sessions, after Meredith puts Derek down for the night in his mom's bed, she has her boyfriend Buck over, and they use Derek's room to get their mind on. Oh, with them shiny panties, too? Poor Derek can hear those things swishing around from the other room. The two sex scenes are intercut, which is a little weird, although they do offer a humorous contrast between inexperienced teenage lovers and much more down-to-business adult fucking. Unbeknownst to Meredith and Buck, however, Joe Petto has snuck into the house dressed like Kris Kringle, and he empties his sack to leave a perfectly set-up display of toys on the floor of Derek's room right behind them. Meredith eventually notices them, but Buck quickly tries to right.
I don't know, they were here when we got here.
Yeah, dude, you definitely started fucking with a severed arm toy in the bed, okay. That
Yeah.
severed arm toy ends up sneaking up and molesting both the teenagers in the height of this movie's quote-unquote comedy.
Hit that guy. Hit that guy.
Actually, you know what? That guy sold it. It's pretty funny. Eventually, the hand changes from a lover into a fighter and starts choking Buck, all while a snake ties up Meredith's wrists around Buck's
Yeah.
body. After Derek comes in to ask the teens
You
to
guys
keep their fucking a
kinda
little
was
quieter,
acting
Joe
for
comes
it.
from behind and throws a sack
Because
over the kid to abduct him,
you're supposed to be
leaving the
watching
teens
the
behind
kid,
to fend off a bunch of
not
killer
making out
toys.
with your
A tank
boyfriend.
shoots Meredith in the
Oh.
chest. Wow, it blew a hole right through her there. But somehow, that's not enough to kill her, because Buck ends up being the only one who dies. It happens after a killer robot Hot Wheels revs up and sticks a landing in his chest, then uses a couple of whirring saw blades to
I
cut
would
into his
not
neck. We don't see
buy
it too
buy that
though,
toy for
because
my
Henry
kid.
and June turn the page to Action League Now instead. During their front seat pillow talk, Noah tells Sarah that Joe Petto maimed some kids a few years ago.
They arrested him one Christmas for booby trapping toys. He'd rig them with lethal devices, then he sent them to kids all around town. A couple of kids got hurt pretty bad. I think one of them even died.
Whoa, that sounds pretty intense, dude. Why'd he do it?
From what I remember, he went off the deep end when his wife was killed in a car accident. She was pregnant at the time.
Oh my God.
I guess he felt if he couldn't have a happy family, nobody else would.
Oh, it's another John Kramer situation, huh? When will these horror
Oh,
movie killers
yeah.
learn that enduring a tragedy doesn't give you a license to murder? After Sarah and Noah
Somebody
get
got
back
stuck
to
in
her
my
house, this somehow still living Meredith jumps onto their windshield, and she and Sarah play a game of repeat everything you say.
Buck's dead! Buck's dead! Where's Derek? Where's Derek?
I don't know! Meredith tells them that Joe Petto came and kidnapped Derek, so Sarah hops in the car to go get him back. Aw, Noah, I'm sure you want to go save your newly confirmed kid, but you've got this teenager on your hands? Damn, man. If only there were a random character who could...
Oh my God, what happened?
Kim! Perfect! Here, take this girl and never be seen from again. I'm gonna go be
Dang.
part of this movie's finale. Bye! Sarah goes to Petto's and up some stairs around back to enter he and Pino's living quarters, where she finds threatening pictures of her and Derek and a fake severed head that looks like it could be a couch pillow in Guillermo del Toro's house. Noah arrives a little later and uses his thieves' tools to break into the toy Damn, that was fast. He must have rolled a nat 20. He goes back to the cellar door in the office and goes downstairs, only to get shot at by a flying warplane toy. He's able to beat it with some help from a bear, though. Good work, Trooper Ruxpin. When he opens another door, he finds Joe with a squirt gun shooting him in the eye. Oh man, hope it wasn't soapy water. I would occasionally do that as a kid. Sometimes I could be a dick little kid, man. Sarah follows the commotion downstairs, smartly
Yeah, I
armed with a
handle
knife,
that.
and in a very back room, she finds a crazy, bubbling, crackling laboratory. She knocks over one of the mannequins in there, only to discover that it's not a mannequin at all. It's Joe Petto? Oh no, Joe Petto's dead via a black eye, I guess. But wait a minute, we just saw Joe, and he's standing right there in a Santa suit. What's going on here?
Pretty mommy.
You know what? Never mind. I don't want to know. But this movie's gonna tell me
Yeah,
anyway.
me neither.
Turns out that since we saw him sneak those toys, Joe Petto has actually been a fucking robot, and that fucking robot has actually been Pino. Again, just so you're clear, Pino has been an android this whole time. Then he killed his dad after their little scuffle and put on a dad mask to go fuck shit up. And if you're wondering about the science behind all this, don't worry, Pino explains.
It's very simple. All you need is a little of that, and a little of that.
He don't explain
a little
nothing.
of that.
Oh, never mind. He doesn't explain shit. What's great, though, is how
Exactly.
actor Brian Bremer did an insane performance as a weird android who just needs to show you what he's packing. Or rather, what he ain't packing.
Wow.
Okay, Pino, we get it. You don't have a Pino. You can put those pants back on now.
I tried to be a good boy, Father.
Well, good boys wear pants. Get them up now. And good
Yeah.
boys definitely don't try to have sex with their adoptive mothers. What the fuck, Pino?
You can be my mommy.
Damn you! Where's Derek? You don't need Derek! I can be your son now! I can!
Oh my god, Pino, that is not how sons behave if they're not named Oedipus.
I love you, Mommy! I love you! I love you!
Oh no, what are we even doing here? Why am I
Whoa.
even sharing this with all you poor viewers? You didn't ask for this.
I knew you'd
I
come.
didn't.
Yeah, but probably not with you, champ. Sarah sticks Pino in the head with a screwdriver, inspiring him to do the latest robot dance moves, and giving Brian Bremer a chance to continue making weird
I
acting
just want to
choices.
react to it.
Real boy. I wasn't good enough.
You're good enough for me, Brian. He takes a
Why?
knife and starts hunting for Derek, but Derek actually manages to stop his strike
Why?
and swing around on the back of the creepy android boy. Noah finally makes himself useful
See,
by
what was
coming into
Derek?
the room with an axe, and after Sarah gets Derek off of Pino's back, Noah chops one of his arms
Ah.
off. Pino tosses
I
Noah
would that
aside
too.
with his android man-boy strength, but before he can kill Derek's real dad with a hammer, Sarah steps out with the axe and cuts Pino right in hiya. The new family embraces, and Derek finally has a fucking line of dialogue.
Who's he?
But before she can explain, Sarah gets interrupted by a pervy half-robot. Sarah secures
Oh.
the final kill by
God.
crushing Pino's skull with her foot. And yes, as per the rules I established in the Alien movies and Halloween 3, I treat androids like people on this show. I like to think of it as my own personal insurance for the eventual robot uprising. The movie ends with the new family leaving together, Derek and Sarah comforting each other by saying these things are only toys. Yeah, electric eye toys, motherfucker. How many kills did Santa Mickey Rooney Claus bring for us this year? Let's find out at the numbers. I love you, Mommy! I love you, Mommy! I love you, Mommy!
What?
Only 5 people died in Silent Night, Deadly Night 5, and not a single woman was among them. Instead, there were 4 human dudes and 1 android dude. That gives us a blueberry pie chart with a piece already carved out. Any takers? With a runtime of 86 up with a kill on average every 17.2 minutes, which is exactly the same as part 4. Huh. I'll give the golden chainsaw for coolest kill to Harold the Landlord. The bug shit is gross, and I'm not necessarily the biggest
Real.
fan, but I fell in love with this death when those eyes got sucked into the skull. Plus, the damn car blows up at the end. Of course this is the winner. Dull machete for lamest kill will go to Joe Petto, whose body Sarah finds unceremoniously in the
Yeah.
cellar. And that's it. Silent Night, Deadly Night 5, The Toy Maker, was released direct-to-video in 1991, and would be the last of the series until the remake over 20 years later. We'll look at that next time, but until then, I'm James A. Janice. This has been The Kill Count. Thanks a lot for watching today's...
Okay, that was Dead Meat, Silent Night, Deadly Night, Part 5, The Toy Maker. The Toy Maker. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and put a comment. I will put the link in the description down below for this video. Excuse me. For this video. I am out.